So I reviewed Raiders of the Lost Ark yesterday, and I looked up that movie was nominated for Best Picture and Best Director. Didn't know that it didn't win, obviously, because I would have definitely known that. I didn't know that this movie was nominated for Best Picture and Best Director. Didn't win either one. Should have 100% over Gandhi, yeah, for sure. But that's just making me realize Spielberg was nominated for Best Picture and Director 2 years in a row, and he didn't win either one of them. That is insanity! E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
In 1975, he directed Jaws. In 1978, he directed Close Encounters of the Third Kind. In 1981, he directed Raiders of the Lost Ark. And now, Steven Spielberg brings us E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
In the summer of 1982, Steven Spielberg brought us one of the greatest films ever made. I feel like I've said that line a lot throughout these videos because we're getting through like the prime of Spielberg, basically. We just reviewed like Jaws, Close Encounters, and then of course yesterday Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well, he did E.T. Imagine how, like, I wish I was alive in this years when I could see the prime of him, like seeing these movies come out in the summer and seeing all this stuff come out. Like, this man was on a roll. I mean, he's been nominated like for director 3 times now. I mean, he had many Best Picture nominations. This man was on top of the world. And this movie, if you honestly ask me, this is like the definition of Steven Spielberg. You look up in the dictionary Steven Spielberg, it says E.T. I mean, we all know we love Jaws, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, Raiders of the Lost Ark. We love all of those movies to death. We all argue which one's the best one and everything. But really think about this, guys. E.T. is like the definition of Steven Spielberg. This movie is about a boy named Elliot who finds this alien named E.T. who has been left on planet Earth after his spaceship has basically just abandoned him, and now he has nowhere to go, and he befriends Elliot and he learns humankind from this little kid. And it's such a great movie, guys. Like, I just want to get right into it. This movie is a classic beyond classic. Like I say with Jaws, how that's like up there with Wizard of Oz or anything, I would put E.T. up there too, guys. This movie is the definition of a different friend, a different type of friend, an alien, befriending a human character. Every movie that's been made now that does that kind of genre, they reference this movie because this is the best one. I mean, first things first, the kid who plays Elliot, who I cannot remember his name right now, is fantastic. I mean, he's Oscar worthy. I'm gonna say right now, he is Oscar worthy. His performance in the movie, he's funny, he feels like a real kid, and of course it's dramatic as hell because towards the end we get into very subject matter like about dying and sickness and losing a friend. Like, this kid is freaking good. I mean, especially for 1982, hell yeah. But when you have Spielberg working with kids, we know we're gonna get a good performance because he always does that with his movies. He has good kid performances, which is really rare nowadays. But the kid who plays Elliot, I mean, without him, this movie would not be as good. I'm just saying it now. His performance in this movie is freaking fantastic. Heck, we even have little Drew Barrymore as his sister, who is freaking adorable. Like, me and my mom watched it tonight, and she even said that too. She was like, she is so freaking cute. It's true. She is. She's a good little sister. She's a good little actress in this movie. Because all of the acting in this movie is just freaking great. I love the acting. Because all the acting feels real. That's what makes it really good. The dialogue feels real. The acting just feels real. Heck, the cinematography, how like dark and spooky it is in the first like 10-15 minutes of this movie, is just really eeriness. Like, the opening scene is honestly heartbreaking. Seeing little E.T. explore the forest, whatever, finding a flower, looking over the city, everything, and all of a sudden that truck zooms up, and we'll get to in a second about John Williams. The truck comes up, E.T. runs back to his ship, and he's so close, and the ship goes off, and it just leaves poor little E.T. But that scene is even better with John Williams. Guys, John Williams, I'm telling you right now, this is a top 5 score from him. I'll be honest with you. I'll be 100%. This is freaking great. I love his score in this movie. And it definitely won the Oscar that year because I looked it up and it deserved it. The score is fan-freaking-tastic. I love the music in this movie. It is top 5 for me. Hands down. Like, I love it. Especially when we see, like, the freaking government come up the hill. The famous shot of, like, the sun going down and they start walking up the hill. And it's the government. And then that famous drums that boom. It's just... Sean freaking Williams, people. He is so good, and I love him, I love him, I love him, and his music in this movie is so underrated. It's so beautifully made. I love it. Like, the very end of this movie, I know we're jumping over the place with this review, but the very end of this movie, when Ellie is saying bye to E.T., that music, it makes you cry. I love it when he flies off and then like, it's just. He's a master. And who else is a master? Steven Spielberg. Man, this director. How did he not win Best Director for this movie? First off, cinematography is freaking fantastic, but the direction in this movie, it just feels real. It doesn't feel like a movie. This movie feels real because these characters and the dialogue and the acting, it feels real. And that also feels real because of freaking E.T. The prosthetics on him and the makeup and the neck and the fingers. E.T. phone home. Like, it's beautiful filmmaking with a great friendship in the heart of this story. And that's why this movie is so good, because it's an alien, but we get that friendship. Like, they do connect a little bit, where E.T., if he gets sick or anything like that, then Elliot gets sick. Like, there's a famous funny scene where E.T. gets freaking drunk, and then Elliot, who's at school, gets drunk too. And real quick side story. So in that scene, actually, where Elliot's getting drunk, he's actually in science class with a bunch of frogs. So I'm actually afraid of frogs. Yeah, I actually am. This is the movie that did it for me. When I was a little kid, I watched this scene. I don't know. Frogs. I'm scared of frogs. It's my big secret, guys. It's because of E.T. freaking frogs. I just don't like them. Anyways, like I said, this movie has great humor too, like always. There's great long takes as well. I love the long take of E.T. in the famous scene where he goes off the edge, whatever, in his little bike, whatever, and he goes across the moon or whatever. Love that kind of stuff. It's not a super long cut, but it feels like magical, especially the John Williams music. That scene where he goes across the moon. I mean, it's the freaking Ablin. I can't say his company name. Ablin Corporation, his production company. The image is E.T. So I mean, like, that's the reason why this movie is famous too. Because that image right there when he flies across the moon, and especially at the very end where where he's got the red hood on, and you got the white thing over E.T. He's all got his friends on the bike, and they're running from the government, which is a little kid too. I mean, after you watch this movie, who doesn't want to get on their bikes and like go on a bike adventure and like get chased by the government? Like, I don't know. For me as a kid, I was like, I want to get chased by the government and ride on my bike. And of course, they go fly in the air, whatever. And that beautiful John Williams music, like I said, John Williams, gonna hit you over the head with it, John Williams. And it's great movie magic. And then to finish this review off, what is the most famous thing about this movie that I asked my mom? She said Reese's Pieces. And that's actually kind of funny because I don't know if you guys know, but it was supposed to be M&M's. But they said, nah, we don't want to be part of your movie. Reese's Pieces came in, and after this movie came out, Reese's Pieces sales went like this. Boop! It's pretty funny that that's what my mom thinks of. But besides all of that, guys, this is an amazing film. It will live on in history, and I've always heard they've always talked about sequels and TV series and a spin-off or remake. In my heart's soul, don't touch this movie. Don't touch it. It's too good, guys. If you've ever not seen E.T., go watch E.T. because honestly, it's a top 3 favorite Steven Spielberg film for me. It's a top 10 favorite movie of all time for me. It is a masterpiece. I will give E.T. an A+. I mean, did you really, really think I'd give it anything else? It's freaking E.T., guys. So now, my next movie review of the Spielberg series is an interesting one. My next movie is going to be Poltergeist. And if you've ever heard of that movie or seen it, then you know when it says directed by, it doesn't say directed by Steven Spielberg. It says someone else's name. But guess what? We'll talk about that in the next video coming out tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye, everyone.